They sent riverboats to fight a real navy. The insanity of PBR combat tactics. Imagine the Navy tells you to take a 30-foot fiberglass speedboat, basically a recreational boat with guns bolted on, and use it to fight an enemy armed with heavy machine guns, RPGs, and anti-tank weapons. Oh, and do it in narrow rivers where you can't maneuver, surrounded by jungle where the enemy can hide anywhere. That's not a fair fight. That's not even close to a fair fight. That's sending a ski boat to fight a war. But that's exactly what happened in Vietnam. The Navy sent patrol boat, river crews, PBRs into combat against an enemy that had every tactical advantage. The Viet Cong knew the terrain, had prepared ambush positions, and were armed with weapons specifically designed to destroy light vehicles. Today, we're examining the absolute insanity of PBR combat tactics, why this approach was chosen, how crews survived against impossible odds, and the brutal reality of fighting from boats that offered zero protection. Hit subscribe because this is one of the wildest tactical concepts in military history. And somehow, it actually worked. The tactical problem. Let's establish how ridiculous this tactical situation was. The Viet Cong controlled the rivers and canals of the Mekong Delta. These waterways were their transportation network, their supply lines, their highways. They moved weapons, ammunition, supplies, and troops via sampans and junks, using the vast network of channels that crisscrossed South Vietnam. The U.S. military needed to cut these supply lines. Big Navy ships couldn't do it. They drew too much water and couldn't navigate the shallow rivers. Helicopters couldn't maintain constant coverage. Ground troops couldn't effectively patrol the endless waterways. So the Navy decided, we'll use small, fast boats. We'll patrol the rivers, stop and search vessels, interdict enemy logistics, and deny them use of the waterways. Great plan. Except the boats they chose were completely unsuitable for combat. The PBR, Patrol Boat River, was based on a civilian pleasure boat hull. Fiberglass construction. 31 feet long, no armor, zero armor. The hull was so thin that AK-47 rounds punched through both sides of the boat. The only protection for the crew was a small gunner's shield on the forward guns, a sheet of fiberglass that might stop pistol rounds but was useless against rifles. The rest of the boat was completely exposed. This meant when you took fire, and you would take fire, bullets went through the boat like it wasn't there. They hit fuel tanks, equipment, and people with equal ease. Now consider the tactical environment. Narrow canals, sometimes only 50 feet wide, with thick jungle on both banks providing perfect concealment for ambushers. The boat couldn't maneuver freely. You couldn't avoid bad terrain. You had to patrol through ambush-perfect territory in a boat that couldn't stop bullets. The enemy had weapons specifically designed to destroy light vehicles. RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, heavy machine guns, 51 caliber DSHK, recoilless rifles, and later in the war, even anti-tank guided missiles. One RPG hit would destroy a PBR. It wouldn't damage it, it would destroy it completely. The fiberglass hull would shatter, the boat would sink in minutes. So the tactical equation was slow, vulnerable boats versus well-armed enemy forces fighting from concealed positions in terrain they knew intimately. This should have been a disaster. The tactics that shouldn't work. How did PBR crews survive in this environment? Through tactics that sound insane on paper, but somehow worked in practice. Tactics number 1, overwhelming firepower. PBRs couldn't withstand hits, so they focused on not getting hit, by killing the enemy first. Each boat carried ridiculous amounts of firepower for its size. Twin 50 caliber machine guns forward, another 50 or M60 aft, a Mark 18 grenade launcher. Later, some boats added minigun pods capable of firing 4,000 rounds per minute. When ambushed, the PBR response was to immediately suppress enemy positions with every weapon simultaneously. We're talking sustained bursts of 50 caliber fire that could saw through trees combined with grenades dropping into suspected positions. The theory, if the enemy is hiding behind vegetation, destroy the vegetation. If they're in structures, destroy the structures. put so much fire downrange so quickly that they can't effectively return fire. This was the violence of action doctrine. When hit, hit back 10 times harder immediately. Tactic number 2, speed and aggression. PBRs could reach 28-30 knots on calm water. In an ambush, the response was full throttle. Get out of the kill zone as fast as possible while laying down suppressive fire. The boat driver's job was simple. Maximum speed, evasive maneuvers, don't stop. Meanwhile, the gunners engaged every muzzle flash, every suspected position, every piece of cover the enemy might use. This approach, speeding through the ambush while firing everything, was counterintuitive. Normal defensive doctrine says take cover, suppress threats, then maneuver. But PBRs had no cover. Standing still meant death, so they ran while fighting. Tactic number 3, patrol in pairs or groups. Lone PBRs were extremely vulnerable. Multiple boats provided mutual support. If one was ambushed, the others could maneuver to flank the ambush positions or provide covering fire. 2 boat patrols became standard. The boats would leapfrog, one stationary providing cover while the other moved, then reverse. Or they'd patrol in line with spacing that allowed the second boat to respond if the first was hit. Tactic number 4, psychological warfare through unpredictability. PBRs varied patrol times, routes, and speeds constantly. Never pass through the same area at the same time twice. Keep the enemy guessing. Some patrols would race through a canal at full speed, making noise and showing force. Others would idle quietly, listening for suspicious sounds. The inconsistency made it harder for the enemy to plan effective ambushes. Tactic number 5, deliberate provocation. Some PBR crews actually tried to draw fire. They'd patrol through known enemy territory, almost daring ambushes, because once the enemy revealed their positions, the PBRs could call in airstrikes or artillery. This sounds suicidal, and sometimes it was, but it had strategic logic. Better to fight on your terms with support available than to be caught unexpectedly. When the tactics failed. These tactics worked often enough that PBR operations continued throughout the war. But sometimes they failed spectacularly. And when they failed, people died. October 1968, Raichjia Canal. A single PBR was conducting patrol when it encountered a fortified VC position, essentially a bunker complex built along the canal specifically to ambush patrol boats. The VC had heavy machine guns, RPGs, and recoilless rifles, weapons capable of destroying the boat with single hits. They'd positioned these weapons to create interlocking fields of fire covering the entire canal width. The PBR entered the kill zone. The VC opened fire from 3 positions simultaneously. The boat never had a chance. An RPG hit the forward gun mount